Okay, let's dive into this source material we've got. It's the SFRG Info News and More from June 5th, 2025. And wow, it is absolutely packed. We're talking events, resources, community updates, just a lot here.
It really is a dense snapshot.
So this deep dive, our goal is basically to sift through all of this and pull out the stuff that's really essential, the opportunities specifically for you, the listener.
Yeah, because it covers such a wide range, doesn't it? You've got local fun, entertainment, but also these vital military community resources and a big focus on safety too.
Exactly. So let's jump in and unpack it. Where should we start? Maybe with summer kicking off? There seems to be a ton of activities.
Makes sense. Yeah, the source is definitely buzzing with summer stuff. Let's look at ways to stay busy, entertained as it gets warmer.
Okay.
Reading programs seem like a big thing right now, especially for families.
Right, I saw that, the Sierra Vista Library one.
Exactly. Their summer reading program, the theme is Color Our World. You sign up using the Beanstack app or their website, then you log reading minutes. That's from June 7th to July 19th. And, the more you read, the better your chances for raffles, prizes. There's a finale event, too.
And they've got a kickoff event. Arizona Rick the Balloon Cowboy, June 7th at 1 p.m. Sounds like classic summer library fun, right? All ages.
It totally does. And it's worth pointing out, the source also mentions the DoD MWR libraries have their own summer reading program. It's a partnership with iRead. They say it's flexible, nonprofit, has incentives, adaptable themes. Basically highlighting that these kinds of programs are often available wider, across the military community, not just here.
That's a really good point, knowing these resources follow you, potentially. Okay, so reading. What about screens? Movies seem big, too.
Oh, yeah, lots of movie options listed. For something maybe more historical, impactful, there's the Army Birthday Movie Night Kickoff. That's June 6th, 5 p.m., Warrior Sentinel Field. They're showing Saving Private Ryan at dusk.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, and the source is very clear. R-rated graphic war scenes, definitely not suitable for children. It's an adult audience thing.
Good heads up. Important context.
But they are making it an event. Free popcorn, hot dogs, photo booth, even Army birthday cupcakes and drinks. Beer for sale, too.
A significant event, then, for those who are interested and prepared for the content. What about, family-friendly stuff? Inside, maybe?
Yep. Cinemark's Summer Movie Clubhouse is back. Wednesdays, 9:30 a.m., running through August 7th. Tickets are just $1.75 for family-friendly films.
$1.75. That's, incredibly affordable. Great way to escape the heat.
Totally. Plus, they have deals on snacks, popcorn combos, and then for free outdoor movies, Sierra Vista's doing movies in the park again. Veterans Memorial Park.
Oh, nice. When are those?
They start around dusk, 7-ish, but they have lawn games and stuff starting at 5 p.m., kettle corn for sale, free admission. The source lists Despicable Me 4 for June 7th.
Okay, popular one.
And Kung Fu Panda 4 for June 14th. So yeah, just bring a blanket, enjoy the evening.
Sounds perfect. And speaking of Army stuff, there's another big event mentioned. The Army 250 birthday party.
Yes. June 13th, 5 p.m. on the historic Brown Parade Field. This one sounds huge for families. Bounce houses, obstacle course, face painting, lawn games, photo booth.
Wow.
Free hot dogs, drinks, popcorn, cupcakes. Adult beverages and food trucks available to buy from, too. And a family movie at dusk.
Oh, and they have that clue right.
Yeah.
About the movie. Something about 1995. Cargo plane, large four-legged passenger.
Yeah. That's a little fun, makes you guess. It's definitely a big family draw.
Cool. Okay, so beyond movies, music, festivals, what's happening there?
Quite a bit. Also in Brown Parade Field, there's the Army Birthday Jazz and Wine Festival on June 7th. That sounds a bit more sophisticated, maybe.
Yeah.
Food trucks, wine, craft beer starting at 3 p.m., wine and whiskey flights from 6, VIP cigar lounge, photo booth, commemorative glasses, and live music from Desert Fever 6 to 8 p.m.
Okay, jazz and wine outdoors. Sounds lovely for a summer evening.
Doesn't it? And Sierra Vista also has its Thursday night summer concert series. Veterans Memorial Park, Centennial Pavilion. Free, open to everyone. Just bring chairs or blankets.
What kind of music?
Well, the source lists Desert Swing for June 5th. That's big band music. An 18-piece orchestra playing standards. Think In the Mood.
Wow, an 18-piece orchestra for free. That's impressive.
It really is. And then June 12th, it's the Sierra Vista Symphony Orchestra. So a nice range right there.
Definitely shows the local cultural variety. Anything further afield?
Yeah, looking a bit wider, the source highlights Bisbee Pride. It's their 21st annual, June 13th to 15th. Sounds like a big multi-day thing. Celebrating diversity, parade through Old Bisbee on Saturday, festival, vendors, entertainment, street dance Friday, even Twisted Sister Bingo on Sunday.
Bisbee always brings something unique. and culturally significant, the Tucson Juneteenth Festival.
Yes, the 54th annual, that's June 14th at Keno Sports Complex. It commemorates, the end of slavery, June 19th, 1865. The goal mentioned is increasing knowledge of African-American roles and achievements. Lots planned. Historical presentations, exhibits, music, dance, arts, crafts, car show, food vendors, plus other events throughout the month.
That sounds like a really rich and important event.
Absolutely. And for ongoing weekend things, the source points to stuff like Chillin' at the Chul in Tucson. That's at Tejano Chul Friday and Saturday evenings.
Oh, yeah.
Live music, drinks, family stuff, food. Admission is free. The gardens are cooler in the evening. Saturdays even have nature play with the Children's Museum Oro Valley.
Nice. Free admission helps too.
Definitely. And also the Saguaro Sunset Night Market at Old Tucson, select weekends this summer. Live music, arts, crafts, food vendors right on the historic Main Street. Bars, restaurants, rides are open. And again, free entry and parking.
Free entry at Old Tucson. That's a great reason to check out that cool historic setting. Okay, switching gears a bit. Sports, any local action?
Yep, for sports fans. The Tucson Saguaros Baseball Club, they're in the Pecos League. They play the Pecos Bills June 5th, 6th, 7th at Keno Sports Complex. It's independent ball, just FYI.
Good to know. Any other sports?
FC Tucson Soccer, they're USL League 2, kind of a pre-professional pathway. They play AMSG FC on June 6th, 7 p.m. at Keno North Stadium. And here's a good tip from the source. Use promo code VISIT2CSON25 for 50% off single match tickets for men's and women's teams.
Oh, nice. 50% off. That's a solid discount. Good way to catch a game.
Totally. And one more, Tucson Sugar Skulls Arena Football, Indoor Football League. They play home games at the TCC Arena, June 7th versus San Diego Strike Force, plus more home games listed throughout June and into July. So plenty of options if you like indoor football.
Okay, great roundup of sports. Beyond the usual events, though, the source highlights some really unique experiences, too, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Stuff you might not stumble upon otherwise, like the Patterson Observatory Public Night.
Stargazing.
Yeah, June 5th at 8 p.m. Volunteers from the Huachuca Astronomy Club are there, showing images of stars, planets, nebulas. It's free, but you have to register online because space is limited. And it's weather dependent, so they advise checking beforehand. There's a number and email provided.
Looking through telescopes with experts sounds amazing.
Hectic.
And then completely different vibe. Phoenix Fan Fusion.
Right. June 6th to 8th at the Phoenix Convention Center. Huge pop culture convention, right? Comics, anime, movies, TV, gaming. Celebrity guests, panels, cosplay, all that stuff.
A big trip for pop culture fans. What about something spookier closer by?
How about Boot Hell Night Tours in Tombstone? Select Fridays and Saturdays in June. It's a 2-hour haunted history tour with a guide.
Haunted history.
Yeah. And they say bring your ghost hunting devices or apps. It's $30 per person, limited groups, tickets online, adds a bit of adventure, maybe some chills.
Definitely niche. And for nature lovers at night.
The Arizona Sonora Desert Museum has cool summer nights every Saturday evening through August 30th. It's a fantastic way to beat the heat and see the desert differently. Sunsets, stars, night-blooming plants, nocturnal animals like bats, beavers, even scorpions glowing under black light. Bring a flashlight, they say. Live animal encounters, special activities too.
Seeing the desert come alive at night sounds incredible.
Yeah.
Totally different perspective.
It really is. And speaking of unique settings, the Mescal movie set tours also caught my eye.
Oh, the old Western town.
Exactly. Like an iconic Old West town, 28 buildings, props, nestled out in cattle country, used in over 100 Westerns. Think Tombstone, The Outlaw, Josie Wales.
Wow.
You get to walk through this 1880s cinematic town, see the mountain backdrops. They mention actors who worked there. Steve McQueen, Paul Newman, Clint Eastwood, Sharon Stone, Leo DiCaprio. It's literally walking through film history.
That sounds really cool, actually, a glimpse into that whole era and the movie magic.
Yeah. And there's night ops at Pima Air and Space Museum and the Tucson Military Vehicle Museum. Select evenings in June and July. Discounted admission gets you into both.
Okay, museums at night, that's different. And one more, yoga.
Yep. Saturday summer yoga at the Sierra Vista Library. June 7th, 8:30 a.m. out on the grassy area next to the library. Beginner-friendly, feel-good yoga, free, no sign-up needed, just show up, bring a mat, maybe a friend. Plus you get a free 2-week pass to SYOGA Community Center.
Free yoga A&D pass, nice perk. Okay, so, wow, that's a massive amount of stuff to do. Reading, movies, music, festivals, sports, unique local experiences.
A ton of opportunities for fun and exploring the area, definitely. But the source doesn't stop there, right? It shifts gears significantly.
Right. It also points directly to some really important resources and support systems, particularly for the military community. That's a whole other crucial part of this publication.
Exactly. It pulls together info from, different key places like the VA, the Army's DPRR, Military OneSource.
So what kind of things from the VA are highlighted?
Well, it's quite a range listed in the source. Things like info on the IFRI annual clothing allowance, which is a tangible benefit, but also resources for, say, launching a small business idea, finding money resources or boosting financial literacy, even finding your next vacation spot or coping with work challenges.
So much broader than maybe people realize.
I think that's the point. It also mentions things like the history of the VA, upcoming events, jobs for veterans, the importance of checking on your veteran buddy, and even discounts and deals. It's like a reminder list of all the different ways the VA aims to support veterans.
Good to know that breadth is covered. What about the Army's DPRR? That's Directorate of Prevention, Resilience, and Readiness.
Correct. The source mentions their weekly media updates showing recent ones were available, which have highlights, resources, events, social media links, training info. It also mentions May's Resilience and Focus topic was building bonds through active responding, and it highlights their community link newsletter.
Okay, so DPRR is putting out regular info focused on resilience and readiness.
Seems so. The newsletter is bi-monthly, authorized for the Army community. The source does note that the editorial content is DPRR's responsibility, not necessarily official government or Army views, which is standard disclaimer stuff, but it points to it as a channel for ongoing information.
Got it. And Military OneSource, or MOS, that's always a big one.
Huge. Yeah, MOS is presented here as like a central hub for military life support. They mention specific things coming up, like a virtual DoD Survivor Symposium on June 27th. Registration is open. Hear experts on benefits, resources.
Important for survivors. What else from MOS?
They highlight a podcast episode with the Red Cross, talking about emergency support, leave, travel, financial help, critical info. Also, resources for protecting mental health. It acknowledges the unique pressures service members face, talks about understanding suicide risk factors, protective measures, and guiding people to support. Crucially, it lists the military crisis line. Dial 988, press 1, or text 838-255.
Vital information to have readily available.
Absolutely. Then there's connecting caregivers with key resources, recognizing the stress involved in caregiving and offering tailored support. Financial resources, too. Tools to prevent financial stress, especially with rising costs. And significantly, support for PCS moves.
Oh, yeah. PCS season is a huge stressor for families.
Exactly. So MOS provides resources for navigating that transition finances, helping kids adjust. It even mentions the importance of leader support in that process. It really covers the unique life cycle challenges.
That's incredibly valuable info.
And just a small thing, but also mentioned, is Fresh Fruit and Veggie Month, with a challenge to add one fruit or vegetable per meal. A little nudge towards healthy habits from MOS, too.
A good reminder. Okay, so VA, DVRR, MOS, lots of official channels.
Yeah.
Does it mention other local resources?
It does. Briefly at the end of that section, it basically gives you a list of other places to look for community events. City of Benson, Discover Bisbee, Explore Cochise County, Douglas, Fort Huachuca event site, Sierra Vista events, the Herald newspaper, Tombstone, visit Tucson, Wilcox Chamber. This is Tucson.
So it's saying, here's a lot, but keep looking locally, too.
Exactly. It encourages you to stay plugged into your specific local environment because this publication can't capture absolutely everything.
Makes sense. Okay, so we've hit summer fun, community events, vital resources, but there's one more major section in this source material, a really critical topic: safety.
Yes, a very significant part of this June 5th publication is dedicated to National Safety Month. June is National Safety Month. This is its 29th year, apparently. A campaign by the National Safety Council, the NSC.
29 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the main goal, the core message?
The fundamental purpose is pretty straightforward. Prevent injuries and deaths, both in the workplace and outside of it. It's framed as a time for learning opportunities for organizations to sort of show pride in their safety efforts and really encourage individuals, you and me, everyone, to pledge to be safer.
Make a personal commitment. And the source includes some data points. I remember seeing some numbers that really stood out.
It does, and they're quite sobering, honestly. It highlights a really concerning statistic about the U.S. workplace fatality rate.
Yeah.
Compared to other developed nations, ours is among the highest. The source states that over the last 4 years, the U.S. rate has been over 8 times higher than the U.K.'s.
8 times, wow.
And roughly 3 times higher than Nordic countries. That's a stark difference. It really puts the need for focus into perspective.
No kidding, that's a huge gap.
Yeah.
Does it give recent U.S. numbers?
Yes, it cites the Bureau of Labor Statistics for 2023. In the U.S. that year, there were 5,283 work-related fatalities and over 2.5 million non-fatal injuries and illnesses just in the private sector.
That's a staggering number of people impacted. And the cost. Did it mention the financial side?
It did. Beyond the obvious immense human tragedy, there's a huge financial cost. The source estimates the average cost per workplace fatality to businesses is around $1.31 million.
Per fatality.
Per fatality. And the total estimated annual cost from workplace fatalities is $6.9 billion. So safety isn't just, the right thing to do ethically. It has massive economic implications as well.
$6.9 billion annually, and that really underscores the importance. Okay, so National Safety Month. How does the campaign approach this? The source mentioned weekly topics.
Right. To make it manageable and focused, they break June down week by week for 2025. Week 1, that's June 1st through 7th, the theme is continuous improvement.
Okay, what does that involve?
It's all about constantly strengthening the safety culture. Things like assessing hazards and risks regularly, reviewing policies, making sure training is effective. And it introduces a really important concept here, latent failures.
Latent failures.
Yeah, these are like the hidden systemic problems, unclear procedures, maybe inadequate training, weak communication channels, things that might not cause an accident immediately. They can lie dormant for years. But then combine one of these latent failures with just a simple human mistake, and that's when a mishap can happen. So preventing big incidents means digging deeper than just the single mistake, finding and fixing those underlying system issues.
Okay, so it's about looking beyond the surface cause to the root system problems. Makes sense. What's week 2?
Week 2, June 8th to 14th, is employee engagement. This really hits home that safety isn't just management's job or the safety officer's job. It needs everyone. Military personnel, civilians, local nationals, contractors, everyone has to prioritize it.
Getting buy-in from everybody.
Exactly. And fostering that engagement involves things like interactive training, not just lectures, toolbox talks, clear safety signage, making resources easy to find. It talks about developing a safety mindset. That means open communication, being vigilant, people taking responsibility to recognize hazards, understanding human limitations, assessing risks, and then acting to mitigate them. Its frame is absolutely essential for operational success.
A safety mindset. That sounds like something you need 24/7, right? Not just on the job.
Absolutely. And that ties perfectly into week 3, June 15th to 21st, which is roadway safety.
Off-duty risks.
Precisely. The source stresses that risk ownership doesn't end when you clock out, especially concerning private motor vehicles, PMV2 for motorcycles, PMV4 for cars, SUVs, trucks. It states this is a major contributor to loss of life and readiness within the Army. The message is stark. Poor choices behind the wheel have serious consequences, not just for the individual, but for their units, families, and the mission.
Connecting personal driving directly to readiness? That's powerful.
It is. It emphasizes personal responsibility to assess risk and act appropriately. Strong leadership, peer accountability, and continuous education about these off-duty risks are all presented as essential.
Okay, road safety is huge. What's the focus for the final week?
The final week, week 4, June 22nd through 30th, is well-being. This connects mental and physical health directly to safety. It points out how workplace stress can negatively impact safety, causing physical illness, compromising focus, leading to distractions, reducing reaction times.
Stress makes accidents more likely.
Definitely. It even cites a World Health Organization stat. 83% of U.S. workers suffer from work-related stress.
83%, that's huge.
It is. So the message here is that organizations have a role in supporting well-being. Providing mental health resources, promoting safe work practices, yes, but also normalizing discussions about mental health, making it okay to talk about it and seek help. Educating people. The idea is supporting personal mental health doesn't just help the individual, it directly contributes to a safer environment for everyone.
So mental well-being isn't separate from safety, it's a core component of it.
Fundamentally integrated, according to this. And one more thing the source mentions, interactive quizzes are available for each of these weekly topics, a way to engage with the material and check your understanding.
That's a good practical tool. So the big picture takeaway from this whole safety section.
I think the overarching message is really clear. Safety is everyone's responsibility. It's not a one-month campaign. It's a continuous commitment to excellence. The goal is to make safety second nature all year round in everything we do.
Wow. Okay. Reflecting back on everything we've pulled out of just this one source.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing. You've got this incredible range of summer activities, family fun, unique local experiences.
Yeah, just tons of ways to engage with the community and enjoy the season.
Then you have the depth of resources, support systems for the military community covering everything from like VA benefits and financial literacy to mental health support and navigating a PCS move.
Really crucial information compiled in one place.
And then this really impactful, detailed look at National Safety Month. Those concerning statistics, but also the Practical Weekly focuses on continuous improvement, engagement, roadway safety, and well-being.
It truly demonstrates how much valuable information can be layered within a publication like this. Stuff you could easily miss with just a quick scan.
Absolutely. So, thinking about all this for you, the listener, what does it all add up to? Maybe consider how these different areas, finding joy and connection in your community, knowing where to turn for support when challenges arise, and actively practicing safety in all parts of your life, how they aren't really separate buckets.
Yeah, they're more like interconnected threads, aren't they? Weaving together to build individual strength, family resilience, and ultimately a stronger, safer community overall.
Exactly. So here's a thought to leave you with. How might understanding the importance of, say, personal well-being or community connection actually change how you think about and approach safety, both for yourself and for those around you? How do these pieces influence each other in your life?